What if I told you that one of the most controversial muscle cars in American history wasn't born from excess power, but from fear, fuel shortages, and a nation forced to slow down? The 1980 Ford Mustang is not just a car, it's a survivor, a rebel that refused to die when the muscle car era was collapsing. Today, we're uncovering a story most people ignore: a broken bar, a Mustang that fought against time, rules, and expectations and still carried the soul of American muscle. Welcome back to US VeloTech, the channel where legends don't fade, they evolve. If you're passionate about iconic machines, forgotten powerhouses, and the real stories behind automotive history, you're in the right place. US VeloTech isn't just about cars, it's about the emotions, the engineering, and the eras that shaped them. The Ford Mustang 1980 belongs to the third generation of Mustangs, built during one of the darkest times for performance cars in the United States. This was an American muscle car, manufactured in the USA, designed not for war zones or battlefields, but for the streets, yet it faced its own kind of war, a war against rising fuel prices, strict emission laws, and a public that feared big engines. Its purpose wasn't dominance anymore, it was survival. By 1980, the original muscle car golden age was long gone. The oil crisis of the 1970s had shaken the entire automotive industry. V8 engines were being choked, horsepower numbers were collapsing, and government regulations were rewriting the rules. Ford had a choice: kill the Mustang or reinvent it, and that's exactly what they did. The 1980 Mustang was built on the Fox platform, a lighter, more compact chassis designed to improve fuel efficiency while keeping performance alive in some form. Hardcore muscle fans hated it at first. They said it wasn't a real Mustang, too small, too weak, too modern, but history would later prove them wrong. Under the hood, the 1980 Mustang came with several engine options depending on trim and market. The base engine was a 2.3-liter inline-four producing around 88 horsepower. Yes, that number shocks people today, but remember the era. Emissions equipment strangled engines brutally. There was also a 2.8-liter V6 pushing around 120 horsepower, offering better balance between performance and economy. And for those who still demanded a V8, Ford offered a 4.2-liter V8, producing approximately 120 horsepower, a shadow of the old V8 monsters, but still carrying that unmistakable Mustang rumble. Top speed varied by engine, but most models could reach around 105 to 115 miles per hour. Acceleration wasn't brutal, but it was respectable for its time. The lightweight body helped compensate for the reduced power, keeping the driving experience engaging. The curb weight ranged between 2,700 to 2,900 pounds, making it significantly lighter than many earlier Mustangs. No armor, no military plating, just steel, glass, and classic American attitude. The Mustang 1980 was a two-door coupe or hatchback, seating 4 people, with rear-wheel drive, a key feature that preserved its muscle DNA. Fuel efficiency was one of its strongest weapons. Depending on the engine, it could deliver up to 26 miles per gallon on the highway, something unheard of for muscle cars just a decade earlier. In an era of fuel panic, this mattered more than raw power. Now, when we talk about weapons and power in a street machine like this, it's not about missiles or cannons, it's about torque, sound, presence, and attitude. The Mustang 1980's real weapon was its balance. It handled better than older Mustangs, felt lighter on corners, and responded faster to driver input. This Mustang didn't overpower the road, it danced with it. There's no combat record in the traditional sense, but the 1980 Mustang fought a different kind of battle. It competed against rising imports from Japan, like the Datsun Z and Toyota Celica, which were lighter, more efficient, and increasingly popular. It also faced internal competition from its own legacy, people comparing it unfairly to 60s icons. And yet, it's old, it survived, it kept the Mustang name alive. Compared to rivals like the Chevrolet Camaro of the same era, the Mustang offered better fuel economy and a more modern chassis. While Camaro leaned heavily on tradition, Mustang took a risky step forward. Against Japanese sports coupes, the Mustang still offered rear-wheel drive and American character, something imports couldn't replicate. One of the most interesting facts about the 1980 Mustang is that it laid the foundation for the performance revival of the late 80s and early 90s. Without this generation, legends like the Mustang GT 5.0 would never exist. Another hidden truth is how tunable these cars were. The Fox platform became a favorite for drag racers and modders because of its simplicity and lightweight design. Extreme conditions. This Mustang endured brutal winters, fuel shortages, and the harshest emissions laws in history and still stayed relevant. That alone makes it legendary, and this is where motion comes in. The 1980 Mustang teaches us something powerful: true strength isn't always loud. Sometimes survival itself is victory. When everything is stacked against you, adapting doesn't mean weakness, it means intelligence. This Mustang carried the fire of American muscle through its weakest era, so future generations could burn brighter. If this story surprised you, inspired you, or changed how you see classic Mustangs, make sure to like the video, subscribe to VeloTech, and share it with someone who loves real automotive history. Drop a comment below. Do you respect the 1980 Mustang now, or do you still think muscle cars should only roar? By the early 1980s, the Ford Mustang wasn't trying to be the fastest car on the road anymore, it was trying to protect a legacy. And that's exactly why the 1980 Mustang matters so much. It became the bridge between the raw, untamed muscle of the past and the smarter, more refined performance machines of the future. Without this generation taking the hit, the Mustang name could have disappeared forever. The driving experience of the 1980 Mustang was very different from its ancestors. Instead of overwhelming straight-line power, it offered control. The steering felt lighter, the suspension was more responsive, and the car felt more connected to the road. For everyday drivers, this was a huge upgrade. It wasn't just a weekend drag strip machine anymore, it was something you could live with daily, commute in, and still enjoy on open highways. Another underrated strength was its modular engineering. Ford intentionally designed the Fox platform to be flexible. That meant different engines, transmissions, and body styles could be used without redesigning the entire car. This decision later turned the Mustang into one of the most modified vehicles in automotive history. Even today, Fox body Mustangs dominate drag strips, street builds, and resto-mod projects across America and beyond. In comparison to European sports cars of the same era, the Mustang 1980 was more affordable, easier to maintain, and far more accessible. Cars like the Porsche 924 or BMW 3 Series offered precision and refinement, but they couldn't match the Mustang's character or its cultural impact. The Mustang wasn't just transportation, it was identity. And let's talk about culture. The 1980 Mustang appeared in movies, TV shows, and everyday American life. It became the car of young drivers, working professionals, and dreamers who wanted freedom on four wheels. Even with reduced horsepower, the Mustang badge still turned heads. That running horse on the grille carried decades of emotion, a rebellion, independence, and American pride. One fascinating detail most people miss is how close Ford came to replacing the Mustang entirely with the front-wheel drive platform during this era. The backlash was so intense that Ford reversed its decision. That moment alone proves how powerful the Mustang name had become, stronger than corporate plans, stronger than trends. From an emotional perspective, the 1980 Mustang represents resilience. It teaches us that greatness doesn't disappear during hard times, it adapts, waits, and strikes back stronger. The performance explosion of the late 80s and 90s didn't come from nowhere. It was built on the sacrifices of cars like this one. Today, collectors are beginning to appreciate the 1980 Mustang more than ever, not because it was the fastest, but because it tells a story of survival, evolution, and quiet strength. In a world obsessed with numbers, this Mustang reminds us that legacy matters more than horsepower charts. So when you see a 1980 Ford Mustang on the road, Don't judge it by modern standards. Respect it for what it carried forward. It held the line when everything else was falling apart. It protected an icon so future generations could experience true American muscle again. And that's the real power of the Ford Mustang 1980. Not domination, not destruction, but endurance. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most misunderstood American muscle cars ever made, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to US VeloTech, and share this video with real car enthusiasts who appreciate history, not just hype. Comment below and tell us, is the 1980 Mustang underrated or misunderstood? Until next time, keep your engines alive and your passion unstoppable. This is US VeloTech, where legends never die. Die.